drive to work and park at the park at the parking lot. Typically they don't. They would take the train in from their their local areas. It's too expensive in Venice for them to park, and often you'll find that the locals don't take the boats because they're just too expensive. That from Piazzale or from the Ferrovia, from the train station, they simply take their walk to the centre, to St. Mark's Square, about a 40-minute stroll, etc. And that by that way saving a little bit of money. When we were looking at Venice last night and when we were coming down the Grand Canal, you wouldn't have seen a whole lot of bridges. There are only 4 bridges nowadays that cross the Grand Canal. There were 3 forever and a day, and then they finally built a 4th one. But one of the problems that we have in Venice is that when we have the high tide and when we have the winds coming up the Adriatic, so that then we have the flooding in Venice, one of the problems that happens is that Venice gets cut off by virtue of the bridges. And when you guys go on your gondola ride today, you'll be able to see the low bridges. And which way the gondoliers go depends on how high the water is at the time that we're traveling, because they physically cannot fit under some of the bridges through the center at certain periods of the day. And so that's one of the things that Venice has a big problem with, is that we cannot always go to the same places during the day because of the high tides and the low tides. So our tidal waters, we have high tide twice a day and low tide twice a day, which is normally not a problem unless we have either the spring thaw from the Dolomite Mountains, which are just north of us, or if we have a heavy rain that's come through for a rainy period, not one day's rain, but a rainy period. And then add that to the wind coming up the Adriatic. If Venice starts to flood, then we hear a series of horns that go off in the center part of Venice, and then we know that they have to, the local people know that they have to vacate, because if you can't get boats in and out, then you can't have normal services. You can't have fire boats and ambulance boats and police boats, and once you can't have emergency services in the city, you can't have a city that functions. So the last big flood that they had of that dramatic was in 1966. Same as in Florence. Nice view this morning of the garbage boats over there on the left. Oh, isn't that lovely? We're taking past the garbage boats. Sorry about that. But that's how everything in Venice comes in and comes out. Everything comes in and out via the boats. We have the freshwater pipes nowadays that run underneath the canals. We have the power lines that run underneath the canals. We have the sewer lines that run underneath the canals. So underneath where we're driving on now. First Jewish quarter of Italy, the first area that we call the Jewish quarter. But before that, they used to live on the island of the Giudecca, which is where its name came from. We're going to go to a real Murano glass factory that's there. It's the newest one that they have built in Venice. They built one on the Giudecca Canal because it's just not feasible in all cases to take large large groups to the Moreno Glass Island.